This is probably the hardest book I've ever written, and usually I write fast. It happens quickly. I edit as I go, so when I'm done writing something, it's done. I turn in finished drafts to my editors. That was not the case with this book. Many of my writing friends were like, "Finally, okay." It was a struggle because a lot of times, if I'm stuck or feeling like I'm blocked or something's not working, then that's all a sign for me that I'm on the wrong track and I need to do something else. But whenever I talk to students about writing and they ask about process, I always tell them that the process that's right is the process that gets the book done, and you learn how to write the book that you're writing. And I kept fighting with that the whole way through with this until I realized, like, oh, I'm learning how to write this book as I write it, and it's hard. And I spoke with the therapist that I was seeing throughout my illness, and she was like, yeah, of course this is hard. This was incredibly traumatic, and now you're revisiting it with a clear head. So in some ways, you're experiencing some of this really for the first time because you were protected by, brain fog and cognitive impairment and just the level of pain you were in. You didn't fully experience it the first time around because you weren't all there. So in trying to write about it and trying to construct a narrative and trying to create a story, you're actually inserting yourself into this in a real way, in some ways, for the first time. So yeah, writing this book was a process. I had to revisit some really painful stuff. I had to explore some really painful stuff that I knew but didn't fully embody yet until it was on the page. And that was really hard because I wanted to write something that people could relate to and wasn't just a cathartic experience for me, because it shouldn't be published if that's the case. I needed to have this mean something larger than just here's my sad story. And yet this was my sad story, and how do I understand it? But the book is kind of about like how we tell ourselves stories about ourselves to exist in the world at all. So